Hey, I'm back and still drunk. This is the second part of fixing ACOTAR and the footprints. If you didn't see the first part, where I explain why everything is wrong, you can see it somewhere. You can go in the card in the description. I'll wait for you. This is the cue for you to pause and go. Done? Okay, let's go. So let's start with Jill Duarte in ACOTAR. First of all, she has a reason to kill a Fae. I mean, don't you feel like the whole thing, the whole deal in ACOTAR of this chosen person must kill a Fae just to kill doesn't seem like it's justifying in the beginning of the story. That's why I say it tastes like a second draft. So let's get the very specific things out of the curse. Let's just leave some specific. Enough for us to believe that the woman that I forgot the name because drunk, enough for her to believe that it would happen. And now it's the deal with Tamlin. She stays in prison in Spring Court until Tamlin decides it's okay for her to leave. Why it's important that Tamlin needs to get to decide when she gets to leave. Because she would bring hell to the house. I've mentioned that before. She will find ways to throw a rave in the house. She will escape. She'll make very questionable friends that will trash house. I feel like one of the first scenes that we would get
look at this expensive vase, the one-of-a-kind vase that was made 2,000 years ago.
And Jude would fucking break it, just trying to get out of there. She'd get drunk. Because Jude is a master manipulator, she could actually get into Tamlin's head, find out what he doesn't like, and use that against him. Tell me that it's not just Jude. Even befriend some kind of people. She has no idea what she's dealing with. That's when enters Risen for everybody's happiness and arousal. They hit it off because I feel like Risen and Jude will have that teasing, fighting bit when they're actually kind of flirting. They fight. You know that dynamic. I feel like it would be that dynamic from the beginning. But since Risen secretly wants everything to work out, he takes a step back. He finds a way to make it look like he's teasing Tamlin. He's good at fighting those things. And then Jill just realized something's wrong. She's fucking smart, the brain on that bitch. And she goes all detective to find out what is going on. She could even pretend she's starting to like Tamlin, even pretend she actually has some interest in him, get some slut pride, just to find out what's going on. And because Jude is not very, doesn't have any regrets on lying, when Tamlin, falls in love with her, and says he loves her, she would definitely say it back, but he would know she was lying because the mask wouldn't come off, and he gets so pissed because he realizes she's been lying to him all the time that he sends her away. But Jude is insatiable. You think she would go back to the place? She wanna know what's going on, and she doesn't fucking give up. And then she comes back and finds out everything. And because on her journey of finding out what's going on, she even
hey, maybe these people are not as bad as I thought. Maybe it's just the little piece of shit that kidnapped my family.
That killed my family, knock it out.
That killed my family.
And she kind of made some friends along the way. Say, okay, yeah, my daddy, and I actually want something with him, but I don't want him to die like me. I'm gonna do something. Goes after him, and the final part of the book basically stay all the same. But no cheesy I love you when she stabs him through the heart. I'm like, ugh. Everything goes wrong, basically the same. Maybe some adjustments in the recent deal, know how she gets to go there, but I don't think that would change a lot. If you have any ideas, let me know. But everything goes on the way it does, and because she's Fae now, she can really go back to human land. They would, I don't know, turn her into I don't know. But she also technically can stay in Fae land because she's not from there. What the hell is she doing there? She wasn't born there. Clearly still drunk. And then Tamlin goes,
okay, since I brought her here, what if we got married? We could get married and then she could belong here, right? Okay, sure.
Classic medieval shit, arranged marriage. And now it makes a lot more sense her panic attack on the second book when they're about to get married. She didn't want it in the first place. And because Tamlin actually fell in love with her along the way, he being obsessed with her still makes sense. The second book stays pretty much the same. But now the first book is interesting as well. Now let's go to Farah and the Crew Prince. Let's get the problematic trope out of there. Cardan is just a son of a bitch, because sometimes the son of a bitch is just a son of a bitch. Farah becomes the spy because she sees it as an opportunity to gain something, and actually because she's bored with her life like she was in the other story.
Go, hey, I could do that, I'm sneaky as shit.
I feel like the plot wouldn't change a lot. Still sees all the shit at Coronation because she's like has a main link to the heir. Everybody's after her. And now she has to become stronger to fight what the hell is going on, and she makes a truce with Cardan, the prince, because they both actually running from the same people. Still, she fools him and gets the power. The second book would be so much revenge on Cardan's expense. He would be the wicked king, but the wicked part would be actually Farah. Everybody would fucking hate Cardan for what Farah is doing, and she's doing it on purpose, so he would be hated and not as popular as the little bitch shouldn't be. Because don't me, I do believe people can change, so this part is where Cardan has some sort of growth. We'll see like, hey, I thought I was just like kidding with Farah, I thought it was just like having fun, but he sees that he actually hurt her with everything that he did. Understand he messed up. Farah gets to know his past, still understand him, but still doesn't forgive him. And Cardan goes, okay, I'm a piece of shit. He just faces himself in the mirror and goes, I'm a piece of shit, and I'm sorry for it. And he tries to prove himself to Farah that he's changed and he wants to be a better person. Because seeing how much he hurt her without knowing makes him want to be a better person. Tell me if that isn't fucking adorable. That little thing of being fond of Farah can still go on, but not of Farah, but of the human part of Farah. The fact that she could actually get away from that pressure from Phelan and would blend in very nicely in the human world with something that he wouldn't be able to do. But they both stuck in that place because that's how they were raised, and that's the only life they know how to live, something in common. They get closer to each other. The enemies to lovers gets more spicy. Now they stop fighting and they get to that weird enemies to lovers place where, like, I kind of see where he comes from. And he's kind of cute, by the way. He kind of hot, by the way. But I still mad at him. That angst part. That's such a good part of the enemies to lover bit. Now, Cardan being fooled by Farah's twin sister makes more sense because he's trying to prove himself to her that he's changed. So he doesn't try to see if they had a deal. If that part could also still stay the same. Asks for her to trust him. She says okay. Fools her and she gets kicked out. Oh, it would hurt so much more. So much more, because it would actually feel like every reader would be manipulated by Cardan's change. And then we go, oh.
So he was lying this whole time. He was trying to prove himself to her. He was lying.
But it actually wasn't lying. Oh, this is just so much better now. I feel like the third book needs a bit more action. Once everything's actually cleared up, I feel like this could also stay the same. It should be Farah and Cardan against the fucking world. They should be a pair so connected, so into each other, and so bonded that they become an actual threat. They should burn, maybe even literally, the whole kingdom. They just destroy the things the way they were, start everything from scratch. Everybody hates them so much because everybody was being kind of privileged by the old ways, but they don't really can do anything about it because they're technically like the royalty and shit, and they try to set them apart and fail so many times until one time it gets to appoint somebody, I don't know, maybe even like Farah's dad and twin sister, that gets to play them so much that Cardan actually believes a treason. The anger of the treason sets Cardan to be a snake, and when Farah needs to strike Cardan, it's much more painful because they actually been into each other and holding into each other and so connected that you can actually feel the pain. I didn't feel that much of a pain in the Queen of Nothing. I just felt like, oh, it happened. Okay, yeah, I guess. But I mean, that guy was a piece of shit. Kind of deserved it. But excluding the problematic trope of him being toxic because he likes her, and actually putting him to a growth and then making them actually love and care so much for each other and show in the book how much they love and care for each other, it would just be so much more painful. And when he comes back, so much more incredible and amazing. And together they build a newly built kingdom until Pharaoh's little brother gets to grow up and rule everything. By the way, I know that a book of I think this is The Lost Heir came out, but I didn't read it yet. So consider this while hearing everything that I said. The Cruel Prince gets the growth protagonist that becomes such a bad bitch amazing, because that's Pharaoh's plot. Tell me I'm wrong. She starts kind of vanilla and then becomes very powerful. And ACOTAR gets the very strong character she needs in the very first place. Tell me Alien and Jude wouldn't be best friends. They would be BFFs. I loved exercising my fanfiction brain. Felt like old times when I actually wrote fanfics. How many times did I say actually? I'm not sober yet. Does this make any sense to you? Because it makes total sense to me. You cannot agree, you can love the books the way they are. If you still like the whole trope of the Cruel Prince, I kinda wanna recommend a therapist. Cause, no. If you have any more ideas, I would love to hear them. And I'll see you some other video, some other next time. Maybe I'll fix something else. Maybe Eternals. You could use some fixing. But see you next week.